Everyone keeps asking what our life looks like now that we live in Bangkok. And so today we're gonna get into it a little bit, one time for the one time. So first I wanna start with home because this has been the most interesting but most exciting component of our Bangkok experience so far. So views. I'm gonna show you really quick what we look at on a daily basis. So this is our view. Tell me we're not in New York. Tell me we're not in New York City right now. It is daily. I'm looking out and I'm seeing skyscrapers, I'm seeing parks, I'm seeing the umbrellas from like the food carts, the food trucks, not the food trucks, but like the food vendors that are outside. It's a lot of scents, I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of scents when I step outside, but nonetheless, our condo is one that we did splurge a little bit for because we did want to, one, be in the heart of the city, and two, we did want one of the newer condos here in Bangkok. One of the things that I always say when traveling is that I never want the space that I am occupying outside of home to be a lower than the standard that I set for my home, if that makes sense. Now, granted, we are coming from a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,000 square foot house back in the suburbs of Raleigh. Can you get a 2,000 square foot house in the heart of Bangkok? No. But what you can get is a beautifully decorated, you can tell the interior designers put their foot in all of the units here. You can get the amenities. So one day I'll do a tour of sorts of our condo because it's just, I look forward to coming home. I look forward to exploring the different floors of the condo, and that is like a requirement for me. It's a non-negotiable. So our condo, we do pay about the same for our 800 square foot condo, 2-bed, 2-bath, as what we paid for our 4-bed, 3-bath house back in Raleigh. Do I regret it? No. Here's the thing. Where we are staying is the equivalent of staying, like living in New York City. It's the equivalent of living in close to Times Square, or yeah, like literally where we're staying, it is quite a touristy area of Bangkok. And I'm looking out, like I can see billboards, like massive billboards taking up a good part of like the sides of the buildings. We live right by 2 of the local parks, and so equivalent to like living near Central Park. Upper East Side is maybe what I would compare it to. So what you would pay for a 2-bed, 2-bath, 800 square foot, 3-year-old condo out there, apartment out there, multiply what we're paying now by at least 3 or 4. So our first year, we knew that we wanted to be in the heart of the city. We wanted to experience the malls. We wanted to experience being close to all of the public transportation. So there's a lot of traffic in Bangkok. The best ways that we found to travel are by grab bike or the MRT, which is the underground rail system. Sounds underground railroad, no. The underground light rail, and then you have BTS, which goes above ground. And so we live very close to the intersection of both of those, which allows us ability to go see plenty of the city without having to pay a brick, like for, car and whatnot. So, and by a brick, we've been here long enough where now if a grab is like more than 50 baht, which is like $1.50 in the US, we'd be like, 50 baht? Usually my grabs to work are about between 33 and 39 baht. So to put that into perspective, and it's about a 10 to 15 minute grab ride via bike. Anywho, when we were looking at condos, we really wanted a space that was already well decorated, because one thing about Bangkok condos is that you can't drill holes into the walls. There were some pieces of artwork and some like whiteboards that we wanted to put up that we won't be able to just because of the regulations with the condos out here. And so we also wanted somewhere that like when we stepped in, it actually felt homey. And so I'll see how Darian feels about us doing like a condo tour inside our space. I have a feeling he's gonna be like, no, but It's beautiful. It is much smaller than what we are used to, but I will say, even like when we went to Chiang Mai this past weekend, I shocked myself with how little I packed. And furthermore, shocked myself with how little I actually used. And I think part of the unintentional rewiring that has happened is that we lived out of suitcases from April 30th until our stuff got here like June 23rd or so. So we were so used to that. But at the time we actually got the rest of our stuff from the US, we were like, what is all this? Like, where are all these clothes gonna fit? Like, why do we need all of this? So we also have 2 more suitcases worth of stuff that we're gonna be donating. So the whole thing around like living outside the US will teach you to live with less, and that less is more. It's clicking, and it's really exciting because my mother could tell you I used to, every single trip, 53 pounds, big old suitcase, like, who is she? So that's the first thing is condo living. Thankfully, the way that they built this, at least I can only speak for our unit, like we don't hear anyone upstairs, we don't hear anyone beside us. And the glass, like when it comes to the windows and the balcony is really sealed tight. So we don't hear much of outside unless we have the doors open, which is really great. So we love our condo. We had a ton of issues at first. The first 3 weeks here were very unsettling. I was at the point where I legit texted our agent and I was like, hey, I'm gonna need your help with asking the owner's agent to either provide us with a refund of our deposit. They can also try to find another, if they have any more units in this condo that we can move into, like we'd be happy to transfer our deposit, or they're going to have to fix this issue. Now the issue at hand was that when we stepped foot into our condo, it smelled like a porta potty daily. And that just wasn't gonna work. Like they had said, like the owner's agent, which by the way, let me speak to having to speak through our agents. So the owner of the condo is Chinese. His agent is Thai, only speaks Thai. And I'm sure was able to translate some way or another with the owner. I don't know how that worked, not my business. Our agent is from Thailand, but he lived in the US for a bit. And so he speaks Thai and English. So the agents are the only ones that talk to each other, which is why I think it's so important when you come out here to make sure that you have an agent, because oftentimes the agents don't speak English. So thankfully we had one that was bilingual, but I say all that to say the big issue that we experienced, it wasn't just like me being nitpicky. Like I know that I have high standards, but this was a matter of our physical health, because to be inhaling, what we found out was that the people who originally sealed the toilets to the floor, and then the people who also manage like all the drains in the shower, and there's also a drain for the bidet beside the toilet, those were not properly sealed. So the sewage fumes from the sewer were making their way into our condo. And I'm not talking like just in the bathroom, which by the way, just the bathroom itself, I'm talking about going up through the vents, going into the living room, going into the kitchen, going into our bedrooms. You could not escape the smell. And there were several days where I came home and I was just bawling. It was one of those things that, like yesterday I mentioned, there are things that we experienced that we could not have planned for. No one could have told us, oh yeah, be prepared to experience sewage smell running rampant through your condo daily. Wake up, sewage. Take a shower. Lather yourself up in your nice vanilla rose scented soap, and then step out of the shower and smell sewage. Like it was just, by the grace of God, they said, the owner's agent, they said, please give us one more try. They did have one unit that was beside ours, but when they opened the door to that bad boy, The smell in the other unit was worse than ours. And mind you, like these, I want like this. The place is very well decorated. It's very well kept. As a concept, the condo is great, but whoever was on point for plumbing, 0 stars. So thankfully, the owner's agent was like, please give us one more chance. They essentially hired a third party, which I'm sure was very pricey. How much? Again, not my business, because I was like, y'all gave us an inhabitable space. Anyways, so they came, the company's called We Stop Smell. So if you or anyone you know is experiencing like sewage smells, and I'm not the only person, when I chatted with a few of my coworkers, they also mentioned issues that they experienced with this too. I was like, y'all didn't want to tell me that while I was shopping for these condos, but anyways. We Stop Smell, funny name, but they came in and took care of business. They tore up all of the toilets. They resealed them. So essentially what they had told us was that the people who originally did it just did like a blanket seal around the toilet versus actually sealing the connection point. Anyways, and they added like these stoppers in the drains as well to help. I left because I knew I told Darian, like as soon as they take that toilet off, it is about to smell horrible, and that it did. So he texted me like, this smells 10 times worse than anything we have smelled up until today. But thankfully, like as soon as they took care of business and aired out the space, it has not smelled bad since. And I've been looking out for it. Okay, we good. So at one point we had air, what do you call it? Come up here, stuttering. We had wallflowers, we had sprays, we had the reed diffuser, and then we had air fresheners, like all going, trying to like calm down the smell until they fixed it. But that is good. So we can now breathe. Like after the same week that the plumbing issue was fixed, we also got our shipment from oh shoot, I gotta reach out to them today. There were a few things that broke in the shipment that I need to claim. I need to submit the claim for today. But anywho, so we basically got we basically got our belongings and our sewage issue fixed same week, which was the turning point for things actually looking up. Because if the house is not right, nothing else is right for me. So, and I know it's not just for me, it was for Darian as well. So that's something that we are now loving. Like we love where we stay. We love the experience that we have being here, and also yet and still the duality. We are definitely going to be looking for a bigger space in our next condo. So that's the first thing. The second thing, so when it comes to living out here, I'm getting clearer on my routine. So I'm a very regimented girly. What is working right now is we both wake up at 5 a.m., quiet time 5 to 6 a.m. Then 6 to 7, I am filming these YouTube videos because we're back. Then 7 to 8, I am spending time with Darian, talking to family, and just getting ready for the day. 8 to 8:30, having breakfast. Now, I work a 9 to 5 here, and I use quotations because it's actually 9 to 6. They are very strict about taking an hour during lunch to actually like leave your work and exist, which at first I was like, man, what if I just work through the day? And I've never experienced this. So I was still, putting meetings on people's calendar, 12 to 12:30, 12:30 to 1, and people just kept declining. And I was like, interesting. Until one day my manager was like, Bree, please stop putting meetings on the team's calendar during lunch. This is actually time that is meant for us to step away. And I was like, okay, respect. Like that is respect. I want to do that better. Respect. There you go. But yeah, in all seriousness, it's great just to have a break during the day, and then everyone comes back 1 to 6. That's the thing. Because you take an hour from working, you add an hour from 5 to 6. Instead of it being 9 to 5, it's 9 to 6. So that's tough. I'm still getting used to it. I'm now requiring 2 cups of coffee, one in the morning and one around like 1:30ish, which is totally fine. Another thing is that it does with the heat and just like how hot it is on a daily basis. I am having to add electrolytes in my water. So yes, I'm on that caffeine. I need my caffeine fix in the morning and afternoon. I salute the girlies who don't need it, but I'm hoping to supplement like with more electrolytes throughout the day and see if that helps with my energy levels. So 6 o'clock hits, we chuck up the deuces. Now we have lockers at work, which I appreciate because I leave my laptop at work, leave my big bag at work, and then I just have my cutesy handbag that I carry to and from work. So we work in the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then work from home Monday, Friday, which I appreciate. So yeah, get home around 6:30. Now I'm having to now do my workouts in the afternoon, evening time, because I'm prioritizing getting my content filmed and edited and ready to post in the mornings. So with that being said, that is one thing that has been a challenge. Yesterday I did a run at like 8 p.m. and my body was like, girl, what is you doing? What is you doing? So I may have to end up doing cardio maybe on the days that I work from home, like during lunch or something. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But it's very different working out in the afternoon or evening versus morning. So yeah, work out, have dinner, wind down with Darian, read a bit. And then, by the way, Kennedy Ryan, every single night, I cannot wait to get in the bed and just dive into her books. She is such a great author. If you are looking to get back into reading for fun, highly recommend, and you love romance, highly recommend locking in with Kennedy Ryan. Start with the Skyline series. And the Hollywood Renaissance series she is tea as well, but all right, Fran, squirrel. So yeah, then we're in bed by 9, and then we do it all over again at 5 a.m. So that's the routine currently. I think it's working well. This is the first week that I am flipping it, so doing my workouts in the evenings. Because by the time I got home from work at like 6 p.m., I had no energy to think about like, okay, what do I want to talk about for YouTube today? Like, what do I want to share from a content perspective? Like, the creativity was nowhere to be found. All I wanted to do was creatively figure out how to get in bed as soon as possible. So that's that with the reality side of things. The commute has been interesting. At first I was like, okay, we're gonna live, near the rail systems, like I could just take public transportation, but it's a lot of energy. Like, even though it's, less than a 10-minute walk from our spot to the train station, and then from the train station to my office, it's still energy. It's hot. Like, right now it's 26 Celsius and it's not even 8 a.m. So yeah, I hop on the Grab to and from work, and it's definitely been an adjustment because I'm used to just, when it comes to commuting, I would commute from the second floor to the third floor of my house, and that was about it. But now it's, actively getting cute, which I actually enjoy getting cute again for work. Getting cute, getting out the door by 8:30, doing the commute, all of that. So I appreciate it though. Like, I really enjoy actually getting to spend time with my team in office, and it's just a different way of work that I'm grateful for. So that's one of the trade-offs, is like, back home I was remote, here we're hybrid. The other trade-off I had mentioned was, having an expansive house and now being in a condo, but living in suburbia, living in big city. So yeah, that's that. And then I think the only other thing is just perspective. Like, I don't feel as though, it's weird. Like, I actually yesterday was at the bank again. So one thing that I'll do a video on is just like navigating the bank systems, navigating the phone carrier systems, navigating setting up utilities. Like, it's a lot. And the one thing, I started with UOB because they had some type of contract with my company, and essentially I could open a bank account before having a work permit, which takes time to actually be processed after you start working here in Bangkok. And so UOB is I'm not a fan. Like, they just do stuff very slow. And like, in order to get your password, for example, to log on to online banking, you have to go into the branch, fill out a form by hand, give them your passport for them to scan, and then they send the passport, the scanned passport and the form to their headquarters. You then have to wait 3 to 4 business days for headquarters to send the password back to the specific branch. Like, there's a specific branch that you have to go to get this done. And then from there, you either have to go back to the branch to pick up your password, or I guess they had the shipping address being the company I work for, since I didn't have a permanent address when I first moved here. So the reason I had to open my bank account ASAP was because Shawty needed to get paid. And there was a cutoff time for when you had to put your bank information into Workday, which is like the payroll system, in order to actually get your first paycheck. So there's things that and this is what I mentioned yesterday, like there's things that we had to do on a daily basis so that things would line up to keep the ball rolling. Because in order for Brienne to pay for the bills, she needed to get paid. And so UOB, I still don't have access to my online banking. I have no idea how much is in my account, but that's a blessing. Like, to not be living paycheck to paycheck anymore, it's real cute. It's real cute. Like, this is kind of like one of those ignorance is bliss moments where I know we're not spending recklessly, and I know that we are living well below our means. And so it's just like, and we also are like very conscious about our spending. So it's not like I'm tethered to my phone, like, oh my God, do I have, another $50 to be able to last me for my meals this week? Like, it's not that type of time, which is cool. I think that's one of the freedoms I have not yet appreciated fully, is like, but part of it's because I was so used to Darian paying for everything anyway, so I wasn't like tripping about my check when we were still living back home. Like, my check went towards savings and investments, and then his went to, taking care of us. So it's been a while, actually, now that I think about it, since I've actually been concerned about like monthly income. But I do need to do better at like keeping tabs on it. I say all this to say, where is she going with this? I say all this to say that perspective, she lost the thought. It might come back, but all in all, like, yes, we do pay about the same as what we paid back in the US for housing, but everything else is significantly cheaper. Like, water bill, we just got it. It's like, what, $6 for the month? And electricity is like another $8. I have to go back and check. Maybe tomorrow's video I'll do raw numbers. But it's great just to go down to one of the fruit stands, get some dragon fruit and some watermelon and some pineapple, and only pay 100 baht, which is like 3 USD. So Bangkok has been beautiful. I'm finally at a point where I'm loving it here. The first 3 months, or 78 days now. The first 65 to 70 days, I was still in the in-between of like, this is a lot of change at once. And it's not even just the change of like being in a new city and experiencing a new culture, but it's also, I've worked at the same company for almost 9 years. And so going into a new company that's significantly smaller, but moves a lot faster and is significantly more diverse than my past company, it's been a lot to just like wrap my head around. But I'm finally feeling like I've hit homeostasis. Like I'm here. The past few months, if this is like the water level, I've been just like holding my breath. I don't even want to see how that looks whenever it's post production, but yeah, I've been underwater, and now I feel like I'm finally like, we're here. So the appreciation, the gratitude, the perspective of like, Brianne, like you're living in an answered prayer. Like you're living in the promise that God gave you, that God told you about months ago. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm running a bit late today. It's 8:03. I need to be out of the house in 30 minutes. So let me know if you all want to see raw numbers on cost of living out here. I can probably give a breakdown, high level of like food, housing, utilities. The thing is like flight and shipments and all that didn't really pertain to us because my employer paid for that. But nonetheless, let me know what you all want to hear more of, and I'll be sure to put something together so that you're just more informed and more aware of what our lives look like, because it's very different than other people's lives. But yeah, happy to be a resource and help wherever we can. So hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.